All right, here we are outside on-air streaming with Dawes. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And we really appreciate you guys coming in and doing a session with us. And you guys are intriguing to me. You know, being in Austin, you guys have been, you're no stranger to Austin and South by Southwest. I don't know how many showcases you've played in this town, whether it's on a sidewalk or a big stage or wherever. You've been everywhere. And people are like, what is Dawes? Everybody's talking about Dawes. All last March, everybody was talking about Dawes. And you kind of freeze when you try to explain it. You kind of go, well, they're kind of like time traveling. These bands, they sound like they've been here forever and you know them, but it's brand new. That being said, I'm just super compelled to figure out where you guys got this sort of classic vibe that people are so comfortable with from the get-go.
I don't know. I mean, we were playing music obviously before Dawes, but I feel like with even with songs that I was writing in the band before Dawes came together, some of them ended up being Dawes songs by the time that band broke up. So I feel like this was a very natural progression for us musically, and I think it was also just the way we grew up. We grew up going to, like, our father was a musician, and we would go see him play in clubs and with all his old school buddies that were either playing with CSN at one point or Steve Miller Band and then this would be their local LA club gig that they would do, all from all different groups all together, you know, weekly or whatever. And that was the environment that we grew up in regards to music. So for us it was like a trial by fire of jumping up on stage with an instrument and trying to coexist with a bunch of really accomplished players. It was never, you know, it was never like computers or studios or that sort of thing. It was very much of a live experience, and it was very much of a relationship with our instruments and how they work. So I feel like in terms of, it was never like, well, let's try to do what used to be done, or let's try to bring something back. There was never any sort of preconceived idea like that. It was more just, let's play the music we've grown up playing music like, and you know, and then in terms of the songs we respond to, I guess, you know, never really thinking about it, but I guess it is more of a traditional approach to songwriting that that has resonated with us, and that we found compelling, that we wanted to kind of chase after ourselves. So, you know, when people say like, "Oh, you guys sound like this old group," obviously it's not something we're mad at. It's really an honor in a lot of ways, but it is something that we were like, wow, I guess we didn't really think about that.
And, you know, and kind of in that same vein, you guys have, and I think this is a credit to you guys as a band, you get to be the house band with some big names. Like, they want the whole band.
Yeah.
They don't just want Griffin to come play drums, or you to play guitar, or you on keyboard or piano. It's just, they want Dawes the band to play like you played with Fogerty on Letterman. Like, how does that invitation happen? Where did you get that cred, or where do those connections come from that they want Dawes to be their band?
I think so far with the guys that have asked us to do it, obviously it's been a huge honor and beyond anything we could have ever dreamed of. I mean, if you were to tell me that someday I was going to shake John Fogerty's hand, I would be over the moon. So to get to play with him, we were all thrilled. But it's definitely the kind of thing where I feel like they are sort of noticing that we have a language together. We have an understanding of each other. Like, there might be, obviously there's a guy that can play guitar way better than I can, but there's no guitar player that has more experience playing with Griffin or playing with Tay or playing with Wiley, who's not here right now. I feel like we know how to read each other. We know how to play with each other, which you can only find in bands. And I think guys like Fogerty or Robbie Robertson, you know, member of the band, I feel like those guys still can obviously recognize that, and so I feel like rather than get the hottest LA session guys they can, because they obviously can, they wanted a group that knows each other inherently through their music.
I think once it happened it kind of just perpetuated itself, and it was kind of like a reputation, which is great. But yeah, now we're like known as the band that
You guys are always for hire. Call us. You know, and we do get to hear a lot from you, Taylor, talking about Dawes. I'm curious. We have Griffin and we have Tay sitting here. Griffin, you had to wait to graduate high school to join Dawes. Is that right?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
22.
And you know, what was that like? Was it an easy transition? Did you say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm joining Taylor"?
It was rough at first, I guess, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of always in the peripheral, and it happened gradually. Like during my senior year in high school, I was driving to the Valley every day to rehearse, and college wasn't really something that I was looking forward to at that time, and I think that was pretty obvious to my parents in particular. So yeah, it just kind of happened, and then once we started touring, it's been like an uphill battle, definitely, but it's been gradually going uphill, which is...
Now, do you get razzed as like a rookie on the road, or have you earned your cred?
Point, we've been doing it for like 5 years,
yeah.
So...
He does the razzing now.
And then, Tay, what's it like for you being in Dawes? I want to hear more from you. What's it been like, the whole experience? How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have to pinch myself to think that this is like what I do for a living. You know, it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you get tired, sometimes you know you don't want to do a show or this or that, and then you kind of remember what you're doing, and you know, I grew up wanting to play music, but you never think you're gonna actually like make a living at it or like do it professionally or get to have the opportunities that we've, you know, been able to get. So it's really it's a humbling thing too, you know, going back to like being able to play with those guys. You see how long their careers are, and then we've been a band, I don't know how long, 6 years, 5, 6 years or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, you're talking about
you got a long way to go.
40 years. You know, it's awesome. I mean, it's, you know, it's a dream come true.
What was your, Tay, I'll stay with you, what was your biggest pinch me moment on stage with somebody legendary?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a few. I mean, the first thing we did was when we backed up Jackson Brown, and you know, playing, you know, being home and like kind of like trying to learn the piano parts for Running on Empty and like doing it, and then actually like being on stage and playing that song, and then realizing you're not a cover band, like you're actually the band with Jackson playing that song. That was really weird. You know, there was a couple of I was looking over at the guys and were just like, this is you know, we got to play in like San Sebastian, like in Spain on the beach, like, you know, and Jackson. And it was just those kind of moments, and they keep on happening, which is, you know, at some point you're just like, I'm not even gonna really like try to wrap my head around it anymore.
Yeah. And one more thing, there was a moment in between takes earlier, and somebody over here kind of leaned in and said, "Hey, do you have a good Dylan story?" And not everybody in the room could hear it, but I think we can now.
Well, he was he kept to himself, which, you know, obviously we completely respected because he's Bob Dylan and he's an older guy at this point, so if he wants to not talk to anybody, he has every right not to. But the last day, while he was walking to his bus to take off, he peeled off and came up to me. Unfortunately, not all the guys were around, but he came up to me and he was like, "It was really great to have you guys. You guys are really great." And he said, what's that last ballad you guys play every night?" I said, "It's a song called Little Bit of Everything." Like, "That's a great song." So that was, wow. To hear that from Bob Dylan.
Right.
It was a pretty cool feeling.
That's amazing. And I know it's rare that we get a band on a night off, and I'm going to go out on a limb. I may get flipped off from you guys. You could be exhausted, but can we twist your arm for another song out here? Sure. Would you guys mind that? Yeah.
Sun that slowly sets on me
be the same to rise tomorrow, to see how far I've come. These are the days we've sworn upon, so barman, keep the TV on, to see how far we've come. Peak to peak and shore to shore, this is all love was ever for, to see how far we've come. California's greenest parts, I reach out for my brother, to see how far he's come. And for that girl that came to break my heart, I call on her new lover, to see how far she's come. Why a mother keeps a record of a child's height, why we all are here tonight, is to see how far we've come. The only point of clocks and maps, the only point of looking back, is to see how far we've come. Oh, 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 oh. Stars that shine away from me, show the one that I have followed, to see how far I've come. Sun that slowly sets on me, be the same to rise tomorrow, to see how far I've come.